Good day to all. Good day to all. Um, let's start with the thumbnail. They talk about your flaws because they can't explain your favor. So I'm about to break down a topic, something that I've not heard spoken on before. I'm trying to put this together in a format so I can share it and explain it and express it. And, you know, hopefully I'm successful with that. And I hope that you gain something from this. I hope you gain something from this. Um, sensory absorption tolerance. Sensory absorption tolerance. Never heard those words put together, but it came to me as I was trying to figure out how to describe this conversation, this topic. So, all right, let's get into it. um, the first thing I want to do is pose a question. What is life? What is a life force? What is the force that brings life to us? How is that explained or broken down? That life force, what is that? Well, I can't say exactly what it is, but what I can say is that we experience it and realize it through our senses. So, our sight, our touch, our taste, our hearing, you know, through our senses. Um, hence the first word, sensory. Now, absorption, when, absorbing, is to retain, you know, to fill up with, uh, and to hold on to, right? So, as everything that's happening around us in the world, we're absorbing it through our senses. Now, the tolerance, the third word, tolerance. So, what I'm getting at with these three words, used the way I use them, sensory absorption tolerance, is that if we have to push these things, like every once in a while, you have to hear something kind of loud, not to damage your hearing, but it is good to hear something very loud, just like it's good to still be able to hear stuff at a low pitch. It's good to be able to have your eyes adapt to and adjust to high lighting and low lighting. I've recently definitely realized, maybe not so recently, but the new me, the me that exists today, has better vision when it works through screens and monitors than I do actually looking at the real world. My body is adjusting and adapting. So I'm like on some 2020 stuff when I'm looking at screens and things, if they're at the right position, brightness, and everything, better than I can actually see as I'm looking around in the world around me. The body is adjusting and adapting. I have some things to speak on just that topic alone. I'll get to that later. But I'm talking right now about all of the senses, not just that one sense, but all of them together. Um, so let me get this. Let me get this topic rolling. Excuse me. What I'm trying to point out is that if when you lose touch, like let's just think about every sense as a peak. Um, so the less you can experience a peak, Like, and if when you start not being able to see anymore, it's like you fade into the black. Of course, we can't use that example fully for other things, but same thing if you lose your hearing, as you can lose your taste. You can lose a lot of your senses can actually recede and dull if that happens, if you experience that, if that is what happens to you. At that point, you're going to experience or I would say that is the experience of almost dying or losing touch with reality. So we're in a battle to fight and keep our senses aware. So we want to push things. Now, this goes beyond the senses into just the tolerances of your body. If you don't stretch and uh, push the limits of it, you will lose those limits. And as you start losing flexibility and the ability to move properly, you can't walk, you can't move, you can't go out and experience the outdoors and things like that. You start fading into the black. So, the point of this is to point out that a topic I used before in one of my previous videos, hormesis. We'll get into that a little bit deeper, but um, I just wanted to say that that life force, whatever that is in us, I can't explain it. That's something that's otherworldly. It's something that science and lots of things are always trying to figure out. But we experience our life or our reality through our senses. So it's our job to keep our senses on point, to keep our hearing, everything, because that's what keeps life exciting and lively and tasty. All right. So it's the senses. Now just know the pursuit of comfort is costing us our resistance to our senses receding. Now, let me explain this. Being uncomfortable is what pushes us to greatness, to better, to higher peaks and, higher valleys, or however you want to look at it. So we're generally always trying to make ourselves more comfortable, softer beds, softer pillows, perfect temperature. But just know cold weather or exposure to cold actually makes us a better being. It makes us stronger. It builds our immune system and all kind of other things that I don't even think that they fully experienced or have explored what all it can actually do for us. Okay. So I just want to keep that in mind as I'm pointing out sensory absorption tolerance, that as if we are to be the best version of ourselves, we're going to be uncomfortable. That goes for even taking risks in other things too. Comfort zones go across the whole board. Comfort zones are not our friend. Okay. We're always trying to get to them, but they're not our friend. For some reason, a lot of humanity is always chasing the thing that makes us weak. And comfort actually is one of those things. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself and appreciate some nice things. I like nice fabrics. I like memory foam beds. I like comfort, but I'm just saying discomfort is important. When you roll out of that comfortable bed, to stretch to touch your toes to a point where your hamstrings are burning is good for our body and our longevity in this life, which this vessel, our bodies, is what's going to carry us through it. At least as much of it as we're going to be able to experience. This is our vessel. I probably should give a disclaimer that this is not medical advice, if I'm going to just be so clear about that. But I want to give a slight story in this and just speak on pain and that, what is pain? There's things that we experience that I've heard we don't even have senses. Like people can do open brain surgery on you and you can't feel them cutting and slicing. You don't have ability to feel there. But how do we feel a headache? And what is that, right? Well, I learned something some years back about the microbiome. And once I started learning about how our digestive systems and things work, Um, it's amazing how information will change you. The information changed me in the way that I have not taken a pain medicine in about 3 years now. Because once I learned that pain medicines actually rob our body of the bacteria in the biology that actually helps us to fight disease and absorb nutrients from our foods and things like that, which is how, listen, if you're on a mission, I'm on a mission to be healthy without a bunch of this synthetic shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? So if that is your mission, well, then the first thing you want to do is keep your castle tight and strong and not needy of supplements to be at its peak or its full, which this goes from even cool things that we do. It's one thing to enjoy smoking, but you really ain't no good unless you're good without it. Then you can appreciate it and enjoy it. Just like a woman, just like any experience in life. If you're not no good without it, you're probably not going to be very good with it either. So to obtain supreme health, it's about independence from all these things that are corrupting us, from the food that we're eating. Anyway, this can get really far across, but just understand that the point I'm trying to make, the new idea I'm trying to put on the table is sensory absorption tolerance. Okay. As we gain a bigger tolerance for colder weather and warmer weather and uh, all of these extremes, like the edges, the boundaries, once we expand our boundaries, we actually increase the quality of our life. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And I just want to say, you know do more than comfortable, because life thrives beyond comfort zones. Meaning, once we get outside of these comfort zones, that's when we start getting better. When you're doing something and it feels comfortable, you're not pushing a damn thing. It's just all it is to it. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate my viewer. It's nice to have somebody in here live while I'm rolling. Feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys for spending some time with me. I'm trying to drop some jewels that are outside of topics that I've ever heard spoken about. And I just think that's what true content creation is about, adding something that's not been added before. And that's what I'm here to do. So this is Nurturing of Our Humanity. This is my Wednesday live. This is this Wednesday. I'm about to sign off. Next Wednesday, I'll see you guys right here. I'll be right back. Peace.